So I'm not real good at this. I don't really like being the star, but for Michelle, I would do anything. She used to ask me, why do you stay friends with me? There's no good answer, because I stay friends with her because I love her. I love her where she's at, what she's doing, how she does it. And there's never been a time that I can remember in our 4-year history that I ever wanted anything different. I'm going to start at the beginning. I did not know Michelle for a long time. My aunt was sick. They called me. They were either going to put her in a nursing home or I had to come take care of her, which that was a no-brainer. So I came to Michigan in February of 2015. And my aunt over the years had talked about Bob and Michelle and just what wonderful people they were. And I felt like I knew Michelle, but I didn't know Michelle. So through the process of watching and waiting for Hazel to pass, she was always there. The one thing I can remember with Michelle was that she was very giving. She would come to the house and, do you need anything? In the middle of the night, if you need anything, call me. She would read the Bible to my aunt when she couldn't even hold her head up, but she sat there with her. So I knew what my aunt had told me was absolutely true. I didn't know she had a problem. I didn't know she was mentally ill. I don't think I've ever known anyone that was mentally ill. And if I did, I would hope that I have been good to them. When my aunt passed in March, she was there for the grieving. She was there for helping me to clean out the house, get it ready for sale, and we bonded. My cousin came up from Grand Rapids, and we spent the whole day for almost 2 weeks together, and again, no signs. Michelle's very good at hiding this. My son bought my aunt's house, so we were able to come up every summer, spend the summer up here. So our friendship grew, and along with the friendship, I don't know when I knew she had a mental problem. I'm sure she told me at one point, but it didn't matter. She was what I needed in my life at that time, and I am so glad that I was able to be in her life during her time. We live in South Carolina, so the miles are like 1,000 miles, but we don't have to be together. We don't have to be so attached at the hip, per se, that if we're not, our friendship does not go on. The first year I wasn't real good at contacting her. She didn't contact me, then I would contact her. The second year after I left for the summer was very different. I could see that she was going downhill, and since then we have connected almost on a daily basis. There are some exceptions, but never did we not contact each other, even just a little heart on a text message. That's all she needed, that's all I needed, to know that our friendship was still on track. When the darkest days came upon her, I was in South Carolina. My first instinct, get in the car, go up, be with her. But I'm not too sure that would have helped as much as what we did. We video chatted a lot. There was one day Bob had to be out of town for some reason. We started our call at 10 o'clock in the morning, I believe, maybe even 9, and we video chatted until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes we didn't say anything. We just sewed, actually. When I was up here, she helped me make some weighted blankets, and we made a couple for her and for her nephew. And she really liked to sew. She loves to crochet, but she loved sewing. When my son bought the house, we needed someone to oversee the house when it was empty for 9 months. And she was awesome. She stepped up. There were some things that happened in this house while we were gone that took her over the edge, and I so appreciate, that she still does that. But my son, because she was watching the house, paid for her trip to come to South Carolina for a month. That was a huge step. Number one, she flew. Number two, just being away from Bob and home and things that were known to her, she stayed down for a month. We had a great time. There were times when we just didn't get dressed during the day. We talked or we didn't talk. It didn't matter. She had her space, and we took up sewing. I had already sewn. She sewed a little bit, but I had an embroidery machine, and we bonded over that embroidery machine really, really hard. That year and this past year she was down for 6 weeks, only because I was sick at the very end and I couldn't bring her home right away. So that was an added plus. I am just in awe of Michelle. She doesn't let you know that she's ill, and she keeps going on, and it's hard for her. It's very hard for her. Some days she just doesn't want to get out. She stays in her house. But when I'm here, she comes over, we go on road trips, we go to quilt stores, and I can just see that it helps her. I also know that sometimes she gets a little overwhelmed, and then you back off. But there is never a time that I don't think about talking to her, sending her a little love note. How's your day? It has to be consistent. You cannot one day say, I'm there for you, and then the next day, and the next day, and weeks upon weeks, not communicate with her. That does not do her mental illness any good, and I have learned that. I just love this couple. They have been awesome. As I told Michelle, I need her to know that I am there for the long haul. I am not one that is going to move at the least of anything. I can't wait. I cannot wait for the celebration when she becomes whole. She so deserves it. She deserves friends. I never had to endure no friends. I can't even imagine what that looks like or feels like. And here she has, for many, many, many years, she has endured that. And I think through the endurance and through friends and family, that her wholeness is going to come through, and we are going to be amazed at what we see. In closing, I just want to let you know that I stay friends with Michelle because she's worth it, because she gives back to me 110% of what I give her. A friendship is not what you can get. A friendship is what you give and what you can help that person through. And I just love being a friend with Michelle and being on this journey with her.